All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to the round 31 Game Day Squad football show brought to you by us. I don't know what we are anymore, but Zonald and Mark. And it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a show, so it feels it's nice to catch up with you again. Like, I know we chat all the time, but we haven't been on camera together that much lately, and I've missed it. So good to be back.
We've got an even longer break after this round.
Yeah, I know. We have to pencil in regular meetings, even though we don't have any ground to talk about. But with last round, it was a bit of a cagey one for me, anyway, because it was the last round to qualify to get into the cup, and up until the last game, I was sitting in 17th place, and it's the top 16 that go through in the top pool of the cup, and I got through in the end. But how did you go last week?
It was pretty good. I think I was had good finishes in each comp that I had, and I pushed up to 8th in Classic, so secured my spot pretty early in the round.
Yeah, very nice. So you must have been a pretty nice group. We'll get into that later. So as you can see here, I've got a bit of a new dashboard that I've been playing around with to hopefully streamline the episode a bit. We'll talk through last round, round 30, go through all the results or the top scorers for each position, have a quick chat, then we'll go through each position, and then we'll quickly have a look at the cup draw that happened a couple of days ago, and then we'll show off our sides, early days sides for round 31. So starting off, we'll have a quick look back at the round, and I've just realized that our faces are probably in the way here, so I'll move them around when we get to it. But first off, goalkeepers. Strange names in there, hey?
Every position, strange names. Like, if you manage to pick the best possible team, then yeah, you might not have known what you were doing.
Yeah. Pretty impressive if you did there. So Ramsdale, yeah, good luck if you're picking that. Raya, probably, but kind of been staying away from him a fair bit. And then after that, Benitez, Becker, yeah, Brogan, maybe, but
yeah,
just a lot of strange names there.
I know a lot of people were high on Allison, but that was about it.
Yeah, I guess the Tottenham matchup, which wasn't even a clean sheet in the end, so it's could have been a lot better. But defenders, as confusing as goalkeepers, if not more. Yeah, maybe a couple of names in there which would have been on people's radars, but I don't think anyone's picking Mavropanis at all.
Especially against their opposition.
Yeah, okay, City. Yeah, it's a weird one. Midfielders, a couple of, Bruno, yeah, lock him in as a top most weeks, but after that, Tavernier, I did play him, so I'm pretty proud of that one, to be honest. But yeah, Dowman, Barkley, and Bernardo Silva. Maybe a few years ago, Bernardo, but yeah. And then forwards are no better either. Richarlison, welcome back against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, let's just move on, hey, and I don't know if there's too much we can learn from that. But
yeah, it was a weird round. A lot of people were playing fairly safe to get their cup qualifications done as well, so there's a lot of similar teams. Low scoring round.
Yeah, it was. So, we'll jump straight into this round then. So, with the new dashboard, it's not coming through... No, it's coming through all right, but basically I've got what my projections are for the top players in each position for the next round, based on who's playing. Importantly, there's only 8 games this round, so we're missing a couple of fixtures that we normally would have. Do you want to talk through what that is and who they are?
Yeah, big relevant teams as well. So not only is it Arsenal, which has been confirmed for a while because we've already had the game that was meant to be here, so we can't stack up on Arsenal players. We also don't get Wolves, which are the usual target fixture. So one less team to target, one less team to take good players from. Then the confirmed but unconfirmed game is Man City and Palace. So another one where we usually get defenders from with Palace. Muno's always been popular. And then City, of course, most of the times we load up on them, particularly like Haaland. It's unconfirmed yet where the City M's moving to. There's potential it could still fall in this round, but they're not announced. They're not announcing that until like Friday, so probably Friday night for us, I reckon.
Yeah, so I think it's very unlikely it'll be in 31, especially with the gaps and the matchups and things like that. But there is a small chance. So maybe at the end of this, we'll just quickly talk through if there is a late announcement who we would be looking at in that fixture. But I haven't included them in the projections because it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
So with goalkeepers, there's a few interesting names, but there's a lot of not good options this week, or not a lot of good options, I'd say. Coming out on top there for me is Petrovic. I think purely because United kind of do put up a lot of shots. Sorry, I've just realised I've got a new camera set up, so I'm not quite sure where I'm looking right now. So I might be looking all over the place. But yeah, and then Becker's sitting at the second as well, which I think is probably a more safe pick compared to Petrovic.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on keepers this week?
It's probably the hardest position to pick this round. I don't say there have been many clean sheets, so you're sort of relying on that more. Who's going to face shots and who's going to save majority of them? The Bournemouth fixture in general with United's pretty weird one because historically they've had lots of goals in their games either side, and even the most recent time they played there was. However, Bournemouth recently have barely conceded and barely scored. I think they've scored like one goal in the past 4 games and they've conceded 0, something like that.
Yeah. So, Lemens and a decent shout, you're saying?
Yeah, I've got Lemons as my number 1 at the moment, and then I've got Allison because even though Brighton and Liverpool tend to be like a 1-1, 2-2, both teams scoring scenario, I think chance we get a clean sheet because how our recent form's been, particularly in the European games. So I could see us hold them out and Allison having a similar game to the last round.
Yeah, no, I like that. Like, Allison is a great keeper. It's just that he's not necessarily put in the situations where he's able to make the points. So I think Brighton will get some shots out. He will get some points, and I think he's probably my number 2 this week. Any hard avoids this week, would you say?
I feel like there is a few traps. Yeah, I'm not sure who played today. I didn't actually double check, but I don't think Everton are going to score, so I think that is going to be a clean. It's just the whole either keeper could start. It's the same scenario with Newcastle because Sunderland have a heap of injuries, so you could go for Pope, but Ramsdale's been playing. Ramsdale might not start though because he just conceded 7 to Barcelona.
I mean, that's pretty harsh though, really. If you, yeah, I've just noticed this dashboard that I've made. It feeds in injuries, and it's got Jurgensen is out. So I don't know if that's confirmed or if it's just bugging out, but that could be something that makes maybe Sanchez a bit more tempting.
Sanchez is predicted to start as well.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he's burnt me before, though. I've had the worst luck with keepers the last few weeks. I've had...
some zeros.
Last week they played and got zeros. This week, or the week before, 2 of them didn't play, which is unheard of for keepers. So I think I'm going safety here rather than actually, taking punts. So Becker, Lemens, good options. That's probably Petrovic is sitting pretty nicely for me though, so he could be in there too. We'll jump into defenders next. this is another area because of the teams that aren't playing this round. There's going to be a lot of names that we probably wouldn't be looking at normally because look, generally you'd have one or two Arsenal defenders. Crystal Palace dominate our defence. Well, they did initially, dropped off a little bit. And then you'd probably have like a Gay in there as well. Or like a Ran maybe at Nui. So there's a lot of slots here. So Van Dijk, decent form recently. Probably sits pretty comfortably as well if we're talking about, Becker being a good option, Alisson being a good option, then Van Dijk probably by default also is a good option.
Yeah.
The other ones aren't as convincing for me though after that. I don't know what you're thinking. Who have you got?
Well, it's the same deal like the Petric scenario. Like Senesi, Hill, and Traffic can score outside of clean sheets. It just worries me that because of their previous history against United, there might be multiple goals which make it super hard. Sunderland, I initially had Ballard from because they've historically done well against Newcastle, but Ballard's questionable and probably not going to play. In their team this week, like the predicted team just looks pretty bad on paper. So they'll probably end up being an avoid.
Okay.
At the moment, I've gone for... I'm considering double up on Fulham defenders, but I think I'm just going to end up with one. Robertson should continue to play. He just, every now and again, just doesn't play for some reason. So he's a bit of a risk, but I think I'll end up picking him over Tede, who's probably the safer option.
Yeah. Now, what about, say, like a Neco Williams against Tottenham? Should be an all right fixture for them, but maybe not anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Romero's back, and they've got some injured players back, so they should be better. Spurs. Kudus still isn't back. Last time they played, it was 3-0 to Forest. I don't think it'll be that again, but even if they concede a goal, I could see Neco stacking points. So, yeah, I think he's a good option.
Yeah, same. And the other one was Kayode as well, who I kind of just love playing, to be honest. Those attacking returns are what we're looking for there. And up against Leeds, who aren't too bad, but there are points to be had there, I think.
Yeah, they conceded last time. It was a 1-1, and he still managed like 12 points. So I think he's pretty safe. Leeds are pretty attacking, so that's what worries me without the clean. Another one is because of how bad Sunderland, with their predicted team look on paper, like Hall or Tiao, I think are two good options. So you could double Newcastle, but you could just go for one as well.
Yep. And then, say, Romero back, is there any situation where you'd be looking there, or is it like Tottenham at home should be a decent fixture?
Yeah.
Really?
Like Forest aren't the greatest from set pieces either, so you could go for one of Porro or Romero. Porro taking the set pieces, Romero being one of their leading scorers from set pieces.
Yeah. And then I guess the other name that a few names in turn, so Chelsea defense, haven't really talked about them for a while. Up against Everton. They're looking a bit. I don't know. Like, I don't feel as confident in that Chelsea defense now.
I think they'll keep it clean against Everton. The more problem is getting the selection right, because Chalobah's questionable. He should still play and start, though. I'm not sure if he gets a sub because of it, though. Reece James is out with a hamstring injury. And then Cucurella is still on his way back from injury. He likes Hatto as well, the manager, so always a chance Cucurella doesn't see out the 90. I don't mind Gusto as a pick. He actually dominated them last time. He had like a 38-point game with a goal and an assist. But the problem with that is he didn't play midweek because of illness, so they could sub him off because he's still got that illness.
Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, that's kind of way too like I don't know. There's too many risks I think going there. But Tarkowski's the last name that I'll throw at you. Um, tends to be able to score well, even in a loss. Not like Everton haven't been doing that great. So
Hmm.
against Chelsea, attacking wise, they're looking pretty good lately. Is it possible that he's an option, or is he?
I wouldn't risk him because he's questionable to play. We don't get team news from the Everton press until real late, and he's not predicted to start in either of the main two lineup websites.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I missed that one. What's happened to him?
I don't actually know because it's really recent. Like he's 75% percent chance, they say on Fantasy Football Scout,
Yeah.
but they don't have him in the starting lineup.
Okay. Well, maybe that's definitely too much of a risk for me there. Then, I think I might actually have him in my team when we show the reveals, but that will change as always. But yeah, let's jump into midfields. There's a bit more stability, I think, here, or predictability with the players that we have left to select from. Like Bruno's got to be a lock surely this week. Like
Yeah.
almost every week, really. Like if we had captaincies, he'd be a captain. Stack your multi in there, I guess, is the game day squad equivalent. But after that, like Soboslai like again, great touch against Brighton. Good chance for an attacking return there. Yeah. Who else are you looking at?
It's hard because an extra slot there this week would work really well. Like I've got 4 locked in, but then I've got a 5th that I want to lock in as well.
I'm
So
pretty similar, I think,
Sosboy,
to you.
yeah. Well, Sosboy is that one. I had Palmer right before this, but I swapped it to Sosboy. I think with Chelsea, they're probably just going to go full strength from here on out to chase top 4 now that they're out of Europe. So I don't think we'll get that rotational risk potentially with this first game, but they have a huge break after this. So I would say, like, I've got Enzo as my all-star in Classic at the moment because no Haaland, no Saka. You could play Enzo or Palmer. You could play both in this fixture because I think Everton will sit back and allow the returns. Sosboy is probably in a bit better form and I would say more likely to score than Palmer. So that's why I've slightly edged Sosboy. You've got like Wirtz back from injury. You could play with Wirtz as like a bit of a pod. I think he would be one this week. Tavernier did really well against United last time. So you could go him again. He might have good back-to-back rounds. Stack against Brentford. Brentford have been conceding lately. Just like heaps of good high-end options who've been averaging a lot this season. Anderson's another one.
Anderson's one
the
I
way
like.
Spurs have been playing. Yeah.
And then Wilson's the other one that I really like this week.
I've got Wilson,
There was some injury concerns. It looks like he will play, so he's one that I think should be a lock for most with that matchup. I've just noticed Grealish has snuck through on my projections there. Obviously, don't pick Grealish. He's out for the season. Also, look, don't pay any attention to that availability thing on the side because it is clearly broken. So I'll work out what's going on there. Because it's got some people who are unavailable, but then Grealish is on the list of available players. So anyway, we're working on it. Sweet. Anyone else here that we've talked about most of the big names left, like Mbuemo's?
Yeah.
Is he what's happening with him?
You could. He's gone back to the right wing. Last game Ahmad actually played, but in the game Sesko's been starting. He's gone to the right wing, which is still fine. It could be a decent matchup for him because I think it will be high scoring in that game. It's just there's so many good high end options this week, so you sort of can't really go pods here. in midfield this round.
Yeah. I guess then what? So do you think you have to play a Palmer or a Enzo? Because I'm currently not. So
I think you have to play Bruno Fernandes. I think you have to play Wilson.
Mhm.
And then it's like you've got to play two of Enzo, Palmer, Sosblai, Verts, or Anderson.
Or
Maybe
like stack
Stack
him
in
with
there
this
as
one.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully there will be some variation then in lineups, which will be nice.
Mm.
The last section we got, I quite like going through the positions now rather than just going through the fixtures like we used to, because this kind of, you can tie it all together a bit better. So I think we'll do this going forward. Forward line, missing some big names again because of the the what's the word? Buy? Not buy. Blanket.
Um,
Blank. The blank.
yeah, the blank game week or move
Yeah.
fixture.
So the forward that's coming out on top, I think, for my projections anyway, which again, clearly don't pay any attention to these because something's broken here. But Pedro, purely on form, I would say, is sitting at the top of the list. He's good to play, I think, isn't he? He's probably, I know he's played a lot lately, but
Yeah, it comes back to that Chelsea chasing top four thing. Now that they're, I think they're still in one of the cups, but it's going to be full, like, play your best possible team in the EPL to try and get top four every round.
yeah. So is he for me, he's probably my must start for the round.
He's my first forward selected.
Yeah. What about after that though? Where are you looking?
I did consider Thiago. It's just I think it's an away game at Leeds.
Yeah.
He didn't score in the home one of few home ones he didn't score in. And I feel like Leeds match up pretty well for that type of striker. I do have a feeling that West Ham's gonna do, like they've scored in the past 5. I'm pretty sure against Villa, and then same goes for at Villa. So they play Villa pretty well at home too. So it wouldn't surprise me if like a Bowen or a Somerville do really well. They could be a bit of a pod, but I think they'll be a bit more popular than people think.
Yep.
I've got Kuna currently, but that might change to someone else just because, like, it might change to like a Anthony Gordon. I rate him this week. He's been playing striker, which is real nice. Just because, like, there's always the chance Cunha gets rotated out for like Sesko to play or Ahmad to get some more minutes in. So Iwobi I've got at the moment. He should score decently against Burnley, but even in the DM role. So he didn't last time they played.
I just don't love Iwobi in that kind of DM role. It kind of he doesn't do enough defensive stat wise, I don't think, to make it worthwhile to have you forward there. So yeah, it's I'm not a fan of that, but he's obviously still a good shout and a great matchup for it. So yeah.
Like Ekatike is there too. He had a big game against Brighton last time. I think he scored twice and got a huge score. So he's probably one of those ones I might swap to as well.
Yep. And will he play? He'll play. Yeah.
He should as well because Salah's got that injury concern now. So even if Gakpo comes back, then they're probably just going to shuffle it around so Sosblai goes to the right and then Verts plays Cam and Ekatike starts up front.
Yeah. So you don't mind a Iwobi. What about like a Jimenez? Maybe same fixture.
Yeah. I could see him scoring against them because it's Burnley, but I still prefer the players against Burnley that are going to stack because Burnley allow it, whereas I don't really see Jimenez doing too much stacking up points.
Yeah, okay. So you're relying on the goals with a low block. It might not come as easy. Yeah. And then I guess Aston Villa's the last group that we normally talk about, which we haven't. Against West Ham, should be in theory, a decent fixture, but like you said, West Ham might be the favourites here. Well, maybe not favourites, but
I do think Rogers is like Rogers is probably my second forward this week at the moment. He scored twice against them last time. I think he's got good history against them, and yeah, I reckon he'll be on for a big one, and I reckon he might not be super popular because I've seen a lot of people going for like Bowen or Somerville instead, and not like going both.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Just quickly look at the rest of the list, going a bit deeper, but like Salah, and then I've got an avoid here, which I didn't realize it did. Richarlison, is he? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
probably just fresh back, so he might get rotated.
Yeah, cool. That's probably it. So, I guess we've gone through everyone, which was pretty quick and nice. Who is your lock in your side, like your number one pick this week?
I won't say Bruno Fernandes because that's like too obvious. Probably Harry Wilson.
Yeah, like I think I mean Bruno is the lock. I think so. If you've got multi to stack in whatever comp you're playing, I think he's the one you look at just purely on form and matchup. The other one is probably Pedro, but then stacking a forward always comes with a bit of risk. So I think those midfield options are probably your safest bet for stacking the multi. And then you hope your forwards just fire and do well without the multi. Cool. That's it. We'll go through our teams at the end, but let's quickly run through the cup draw because cup is starting this week, which is very exciting. So for those who don't know, the top 64 in Classic were drawn into pools based on their positioning. So 16, 32, so on. It was all done live. Pretty fancy setup cow hat over there. But these are the results I have on screen, which are quite small. I'm just realizing now. But you can see these over on the Discord as well as probably in your emails, I reckon. So they are out there. But I just want to get your quick feel. How do you feel you went with your pool? How are you looking?
Well, it's got mine listed as like the second easiest group. Still some good names in there. Like even my fourth pot 4 team is Maxi. It is 1 versus 4 first and 2 versus 3. So unfortunately I do have to play Maxi first up, which is not very fun.
That's the game you can lose.
Yeah, exactly. I like how they've done it to make sure that 1 plays 2 to end the groups because it takes away or limits people being able to like get together and say, hey, if they're playing someone else, hey, I don't want the number 2 seed to get through, so why don't I just tell you what I'm playing and you can change 1 player.
Yeah.
Any funny business.
Yeah. I am a bit nervous about my group. So you said you're the second easiest or second from Group of Life. I'm second from Group of Death. And that has nothing to do with me. Like that's the other guys bringing it up. So I've got Mayan, who, big fan of the channel, regular watcher. And then we've got Quasi as well, Fantasy Bros Quasi, so 2 Fantasy Bros there because Mayan's been doing a bit with them too. And then Cougars, who is also, seen their name around a fair bit. I'm nervous.
Bit of a wild card. Didn't Cougars make the final of the last cup against Denny?
Probably. That's concerning for me because I've got them this week. God, I'm gonna go out last. That's gonna be embarrassing.
Nah. So, like, there's a lot of obviously with just being 64 teams, every team's going to be pretty good. There's like 1 or 2 teams I haven't seen really around. Most of the rest of them I recognize the name either from the transfer market or from leaderboards at some point. I would definitely agree that group of death is the group of death. Like Movementarians just won champ like 2 rounds ago. Oops, Darwin is Steve and he's really good. Does well across all the ones he plays. Denny
Yeah.
wins a lot of the comps, won the last cup, and then Aussie Bro Squad, I see him on the leaderboards quite frequently. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, that one. And the thing is, with the easy groups like you have more to lose. That's what I'm that's the mentality I'm going in. If I, struggle out in the group stage of the cup in this group, the board aren't going to sack me. If you struggle in your group, you might be out of a job. So
Same
I
with Cal.
think, yeah, true that. But yeah, it's very exciting. So obviously we've got the three fixtures. So we play each other team in the group once. Then it goes into like a bracket of the top two from each group go through. So top 32, 16, 8, 4. And then it goes through to the last game of the season, which is the final.
Yeah.
Which could be tricky because that last game could be super different to every other game based on like where the Premier League actually is sitting.
Yeah.
If
There'll
Arsenal
be
have it
some
wrapped up,
resting.
yeah,
Some resting, some new players played. Like depending on who's playing who and who's still viable to move up the table into spots that are relevant.
we do get
Along
the
with
fixture so for that. Because
yeah,
they're all played
that's
at the same
the
time.
fun thing. Yeah, if you're starting, you can actually make sure your team's all playing. Then there is going to be at some point another blankish game week. I'm not sure how many teams will miss, but at some point along the way, like probably 34, I think it is, or 35, we'll get some blanks, which makes it tricky. I think that'll be one of the first couple of knockout rounds. Good thing about the knockout rounds too is it's good for finishing higher because it reseeds based on after the groups are done, and then it still puts the top teams against the lower teams and so on.
Yeah, I think this is just awesome. The whole setup, like the way they've done it, the way they've kind of drawn it, it's just sick. So I'm very excited. But what we'll do, we'll finish up the episode here. Don't mind the new format. We'll have some tweaks going forward with the model maybe, but see how we go. Got the team reveals. Finally, we've got the two teams next to each other. I'm realizing they're coming through not that great though again, so that's another thing I'll have to work on. But talk me through your lineup for those who might not be able to see it properly.
Yeah, so there'll probably be some changes still, but Pedro and Rogers are pretty much locked in. The other two forwards, Iwobi and Kuna, could change. Like Ekatike could come in for one of them and a couple of other options. Bruno, Enzo, Sosboy, and Wilson. There's probably only going to be one change there, and it might be Palmer for someone in there. Probably not Fernandez, because I feel like I need to sort of have his all-star rarity over that. But it could happen. Then we've got in defence Van Dijk, Hall, Chalobah, who's probably going to get changed out because but when I made this team, he wasn't questionable to play. So that's going to change to someone else. Robinson for now could go to Tete as well. Neko's in there, should stack. And then, Lamans and Becker, which is, I think, going to be pretty safe to play those two. I don't think I'll be making a change there.
Yep. No, that's a good shout. My team, again, will definitely have a few changes, but I think like the forwards and mids are pretty set. So go on Pedro, I'm backing Thiago in. Like, I know you have this rule where playing at home, dropping away, but like, I don't think it's actually working that well. Like, the last few weeks, I've been following that, and last week he scored, but before that, it's been pretty trash. So just backing him in. Bowen, I'm backing, like we said, I think he could get, a goal, but I was thinking it was a bit more potty than you're saying you might be. So maybe it's not as exciting. And then I've got Gordon as well, just purely based on form, position, matchup. It just seems like a nice pick. Midfield, Bruno, Anderson, and Wilson. So, we talked about all those guys. Basically, we just wanted a combination of all the players we've talked about. We've both done that, just slightly different, so that's not bad. Yep. Defense is where it will definitely change. So I've got Van Dijk will stay. Tarkowski will come out now that I know he's probably not playing. I've got him in there just because he just seems to always just stack points and
Yeah.
come away with like an assist or something like that as well. So the matchup's not the best for him, but it still feels like it's, he's a good scorer recently anyway, the second half of the season. Williams and then Coyote as well, just for that attacking threat. And then we've got Petrovic, just mainly because he came out on top of my projections, but I'm going to reassess my projections now and maybe do a recount because some things seem a little bit off. And Becker as well is a safe one. But yeah, I'm nervous. I don't have any All-Stars I can play, so that's going to be an issue. So my All-Stars are Haaland and Raya, who are both out. So
I think you can get away with it because the fact that those are the two Arsenal and City have the non-fixture. So I think there are a lot of people in the same boat where they won't have an All-Star to play, or
I guess what we quickly need to talk about is what happens if City Crystal Palace is in this game week.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, if there's a small chance of it happening, happens. You'd probably get Haaland in there.
Would you?
He has
Though?
a decent.
Like this is the thing with Haaland. I'm picking him on name now. I'm not picking him on anything else. So that's where I'm concerned.
No, he has a good record against Palace. I think he scored in the fixture last time they played him early in the year as well. So I'd say he's a play. Too hard to pick their midfield, so especially with all the options this week, so you probably leave them out. And you'd probably given Palace have become a bit more of a defensive team, you could probably play like Guehi or Ait-Nouri.
And maybe Donnarumma actually becomes that second safe pick for me. Maybe over like a Lemons. And I think Semenyo would be the other one I'd probably be bringing in. But yeah, at this stage, it's looking pretty unlikely. So this is what I'm looking at. It's going to be a tight call as well for the dev team to get it all sorted out before lockout. So good luck to them.
Yeah. We'll be with the Saturday morning fixture too.
Yeah. So actually, we didn't go through this. What sides do we get lineups for?
Only two. So when they get United and Bournemouth, which are handy ones. It's always good to see who's actually, because Bournemouth have every now and again a weird change to one of their attackers or defenders. So, and then United, of course, it just means if you are looking towards Cunha or anyone else like that in their attacking half, then you are sure they're going to start.
Yeah. No. All right. Well, we will leave it there. Do you have any final pieces of advice for the viewers out there? Fellow coaches, first round of the Cup, always a nervous time.
Probably just keep your eyes out for the what happens with that City fixture. Like I said, it should be Friday night that they announce it, and then somebody on the Discord will post about it.
Yeah. Well, first round of the Cup, maybe they'll keep it quiet. We'll find out. But if we find out, we'll let you know. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. We're gonna change the format, so we'll try and bring you an episode every round now coming forward. After this one, we've got a big break. Almost 3 weeks off or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's 20 days.
Yeah, it's obscene. So plenty of time to forget everything we know about EPL, especially with all the other codes that are starting up. But best of luck for this round, and we'll see you next round.